Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I am Olajide Bello. Many thanks for joining us. Vice President Kashim Shettima advises new 16th Emir of Ningi Haruna Yunusa Danyaya to follow the footsteps of his late father Muhammad Yunusa Danyaya in the promotion of unity and peaceful coexistence among the entire Nigerians. The Vice President said while condoling governments and people of Bauchi State when he led the federal government's delegation to monumentalize the late Emir. Details of this report will come in our subsequent bulletins. 30 Nigerians among the number trapped in Sudan following the internal conflict in that country are back home. They were received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons in partnership with the International Organization for Migration. The Director of Migrant Affairs, Ambassador Catherine Udida, who received the returnees on behalf of the Federal Commissioner Tijani Aliu Ahmed, says the federal government is committed to the welfare of Nigerians and will continue to ensure those trapped in conflict-torn countries return home safely.
The last time we had about 29 of those Nigerians that returned, and now we have 30 and we're expecting 40 in the coming weeks. And so what the National Commission is doing in collaboration with our partners is to continuously bring back Nigerians anywhere in the world where they have a need to be repatriated or returned to the country. And more are indicated interest to return.
The Commission added that modalities are already in place to ensure those who are yet to return are brought back in due time after due profiling, and returnees were given starter packs and will be engaged before reintegrating them into the society. National Human Rights Commission has presented its 8th edition of the Human Rights Violations Dashboard for the month of July and August 2024. Omenka Marachuku reports that the dashboard highlights the Commission's commitment to transparency and accountability, showcasing the complaints and violations recorded during the months. A total of 185,651 for the month of July and 228,549 complaints for the month of August.
The human rights in our country, providing invaluable insight and data that demands our attention and action. As we convene today to analyze the latest findings from our dashboard, I urge each and every one of us to recognize the significance of this platform in fostering accountability, transparency, and advocacy for the protection of human rights in Nigeria.
Abandonment is a multiple human rights violation. It violates the right of the child to development, to education, the right to food, right to shelter. So when one child is abandoned, there are so many human rights serially that is being violated.
The report also shows that the violations against non-state actors was at the top of the chart. A 29-year-old construction worker is currently telling the police in Delta State his level of involvement in a case of kidnapping. He is among several other suspects, including a 60-year-old man whose son was also arrested for alleged armed robbery. Ngozi Mekwede reports from Asaba.
29-year-old laborer told newsmen that he got 1 million naira out of the 5 million naira paid as ransom.
That very day, I was called by my friends there to go with them. So got in there, we saw the victim. 5 million was taken from the victim. This is the first one. I'm not happy. I'm ashamed of myself.
The victim, a nursing mother, recalled our deal.
I was in my house on Wednesday, 28th of August. So as I came outside to lock my entrance, I don't know that there are some men outside waiting for me. As I come out, they point gun at me. They drag me from there, enter bush. We walk for a long journey. I could not walk again. They asked me whether there is anybody I can call. I said yes. Say who? I told them. So my husband come and give them the money before they release me.
For this 60-year-old man, he was not aware that his son was into armed robbery.
As I go to my children's room, as they were searching from their wardrobe, they now saw a bag, all those guns inside. And I put on my head, they follow me, saying, all the guests, they look me where the mama not die. So.
Same with these other suspects who claim to be innocent of the crimes they are accused of.
So that they stay around the hotel normally. So they cock up boss the hotel. They arrest people as they see me. And they take carry me, say if I reach station, I will know what I do.
I wish to encourage members of the public to trust and always report incidences to the police and also share intelligence with us.
Some of the items recovered include 138 cartridges, 15 cut-to-size guns, 4 AK-47 rifles, hard drugs, and cash. In Asaba, Ngozi Mokwede, Nta News.
Troops have conducted raid operations on 2 prominent terrorist commanders and decimated their strongholds. In a statement, the Director of Defense Information, Major General Edward Buba, says Sadiku Enclave in Sura Hill in Safana local government area of Katsina State and Alhaji Yusuf Enclave at Yadi Forest in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State were destroyed. Similarly, 152 terrorists were eliminated, 109 arrested, and 91 kidnapped victims were rescued in the last 7 days. Major General Buba noted that men and women of the armed forces will continue to take pride in ensuring the safety and security of citizens and urged Nigerians to support security agencies with information to win the war against criminality. Prioritizing competence for effective leadership is key to sustaining vision and values. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria emphatic that mentoring young people for proactive leadership provides robust people-oriented development. Lydia Sampson reports.
Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are emphatic that mentoring young people and equipping them to be better leaders must include sharing experiences, including skills and challenges, to mitigate the notion that leadership is a smooth ride.
If you're a leader and you're not making any impact, you're just taking care of yourself. Therefore, if you must lead, determine what you need to do. Say, oh, service delivery. He connects it. If you're a leader, you're not paying attention to even your physical appearance. You become a wrong role model for the aesthetic sense of the younger generation.
In the last 3 years, the Legislative Mentorship Initiative, a pet project of the former Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbadabiamila, now Chief of Staff to President Bola Tinubu, has trained dedicated young professionals spearheading value evaluation and excellence in public service. These, they acknowledge, is strategic to having leaders that will change the status quo towards impactful service.
We need to also look at citizens demanding the right kind of leaders. If you have a scenario whereby we've trained, we've equipped, we've enabled these young people with the ethics and the values to lead and lead well, and then citizens decide that they want to go for stomach infrastructure, then that will be a problem. So I think if anything at all, it will train the leaders, but then we also have to ensure that the younger people themselves, the citizens themselves are demanding that kind of leadership.
Already, these all-inclusive, resilient and dogged young people are deploying the training to be employers, while others are displaying capacity, making them stand out.
We are equipping them, we are informing them to be even better. The first thing is that all of them have a demonstrable track record. And so what we're trying to do is that we're trying to give them the tools to succeed in governance, allow them to understand how the system of governance works. Because something that we realized before is that in as much as people are amazing, people are smart, people are brilliant, especially young people, some of them don't know exactly how the machinery of government works.
The guests urge young people to continuously develop capacity for service, to phase out people in office only to amass wealth. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
Advocating multilingual education system that fosters deeper cultural understanding, bridging diversity and promoting tolerance, top discussions as a forum to mark 2024 International Literacy Day. Zinredding reports that the event is another instance of the Federal Ministry of Education.
Despite the progress made in trying to achieve literacy globally, UNESCO's Institute for Statistics in 2022 records that more than 86% of the world's population are unable to read and write, compared to 68% in 1979, translating to about 754 million adults, while 250 million children fail to acquire basic literacy skills. Concerned by this statistic, stakeholders are seeking a clearer path to achieve the goal as they call for the adoption of multilingual approach, as this will meet individuals at their points of need.
We must ensure adequate training of competent educators that will teach in the local languages. Most often, literacy educators are only able to speak in the local language, but they do not feel confident in writing it. In addition, we will continue to leverage on the existing progress and transformation in promotion of multilingual education at all levels.
We recognize the unique challenges that come with multilingual education, especially in our diverse nation, where hundreds of languages are spoken. We see these challenges as ample opportunities to create a more inclusive and equitable society.
We, UNESCO and the partner, we are aligned with your priorities. Our mantra at work here is dots, 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 which is data issue out of schools. This is a teacher center of education. This is skills and vocational education.
The theme for the International Literacy Day 2024 is Promoting Multilingual Education, Literacy for Mutual Understanding and Peace. In Abuja, Zenredding, Nta News.
You're watching the news desk at 6 on Nta News24. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. Survivors of spinal cord injury in Nigeria have called on government ministries, agencies and private organizations to fully implement the Disability Act 2018 to fast-track accessibility and stop the marginalization of persons with disabilities across the country. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, Abba Issa, said this at an event to commemorate the 2024 International Spinal Cord Day in Abuja. Gufan Shaji Ugwai reports.
Almost in my final year before this happened to me, and it's still a struggle till now.
September 5 of every year is set aside as the International Spinal Cord Injury Day. The day provides a veritable opportunity for spinal cord injury survivors to come together to create awareness on the challenges confronting them. During this year's event in Abuja, they called on the relevant government agencies in Nigeria to ensure full implementation of Disability Act in the country.
My office, in collaboration with the National Commission for Persons with Disability and National Association for Spinal Cord Injury, is preparing to set up a presidential joint task team that will spearhead the implementation process.
acknowledge the barriers and obstacles faced by individuals with spinal cord injury in accessing healthcare, rehabilitation, employment, and full participation in the social activities. It is our collective responsibility to advocate for the rights, dignity, and well-being of individuals with spinal cord injury.
The Abuja chapter of the Spinal Cord Injury Association, in collaboration with the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, presented a wheelchair to a survivor of spinal cord injury at the event. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, Nta News.
FCT Minister of State Maria Mahmood has flagged off grant disbursements for the fourth batch of the FCT COVID-19 Action, Recovery and Economic Stimulus tagged FCT Cares. The minister, who says the administration will be working in the 19 Fadama development areas across the area councils, adds that the focus of the administration is to increase food security for vulnerable households in the territory through sustainable programs. Aisha Ubali reports.
The FCT Cares is a World Bank project not only to increase food security, but to also ensure safe functioning of food supply chain for households in the territory. No fewer than 9,170 people have benefited from the two-year program. Maria further discloses that the CARES program is in addition to the provision of water and sanitation facilities in 10 wet markets are located in the FCT. In the meantime, the Mandate Secretary, Agri and Rural Development Secretariat, Lawan Kolo Gaidam, says 6,020 farmers from 82 farmers associations are the beneficiaries of the fourth batch disbursement of the FCT Cares grant, which cuts across agri value chain.
It is instructive to note, therefore, that within a period of 1 year in office of the current administration, the FCT Fadama Cares program has more than doubled its prior disbursement of almost 2 years.
As a part of the youth empowerment component for the Fadama Cares program, the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat is leveraging the Fadama Cares program to provide startup packs of 94 trainees of FCT Leventus Foundation School of Agriculture, Ayaba, for the 2022 and 2023 year, to enable them put into practice what they have learned in school.
The distribution of the agri inputs such as fertilizers, seeds and agrochemical sprayers and personal protective equipment for farmers climaxed the events. From Gwagwalada Area Council, Aisha Oba Ali, Nta News.
The National Emergency Management Agency NEMA alerts some states in the north, central and southern parts of the country of a possible overflow of the River Niger and Benue that could trigger flooding in riverine communities. The states are highly probable are Benue, Kogi, Anambra, Delta, Imo, Rivers and Bayelsa. A statement by NEMA released on Friday says the notice is to allow local governments and communities to take actions to mitigate the risk of flooding. Some of the actions expected to be taken include immediate construction of temporary flood barriers, evacuating from floodplains to safer higher grounds, and avoiding crossing flooded areas. The agency advises communities to stay informed through weather updates and flood warnings from the Nigerian Meteorological Agency (NIMET) and the Hydrological Services Agency (NISA). This is the news desk at 6 on Nta News24. Here's a recap of our top stories. More Nigerians trapped in water in Sudan return home.
29 of those Nigerians are returned, and now we have 30 and we're expecting 40 in the coming weeks.
International Literacy Day stakeholders advocate multilingual education to promote cultural and ethnic tolerance. National Emergency Management Agency raises alarm over possible overflow of rivers Niger and Benue. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, with its development partners, say sensitizing the general public, especially the media and the civil society organizations, on prevention and minimizing pollution and waste emanating from batteries is geared towards protecting the environment. This was at a stakeholders workshop on the National Environmental Battery Control Regulations, which has just been gazetted by the Federal Ministry of Justice. Steve Nta has the report.
Battery is a device that stores and provides electrical energy through chemical reactions. It consists of one or more electrochemical cells that convert stored chemical energy into electrical energy for a wide range of applications. However, batteries pose danger to the environment if the waste or used ones are not properly disposed of. It is against this backdrop that the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency, NESRA, led by its Director General and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Innocent Bariko, and the development partners are sensitizing the general public, which include the media and the civil society organizations, into the regulations of waste batteries in the environment.
For you to help to acquaint yourselves with this very important legislation, which will cause a paradigm shift from the old to the new in the battery sector. I therefore urge each and every one of us to avail ourselves the opportunity of assimilating the provisions of this legislation and be its ambassador to the wider regulated community towards its application and implementation to achieve voluntary compliance.
The development partners sue for extended producer responsibility by enforcing regulations that will make manufacturers responsible for the collection and recycling of batteries.
So we continue to collaborate on this directive with ARBR to make it workable, and we liaise with NESRA to make sure that it is enforced. We have, through this collaboration, pushed out this directive to recyclers.
The Director, Legal Services of NESRA, provides the key provisions of the battery control regulations.
This is not an effort of NESRA or NAFDAC or Ministry of Environment to stifle anybody's business. It's about our survival. It's about protecting our investments. It's about protecting our environment. It's about having a future.
As ARBR, we register collection centers, we register recyclers. That is the only way that we can follow up on our members.
It is their consensus that these measures collectively will help mitigate the adverse environmental effects of waste batteries while conserving valuable resources. In Abuja, Steve Nta News.
Nigeria's Onyechi Mark set 3 new world records en route to her gold medal finish in the women's 61 kg class of powerlifting at the ongoing Paris Paralympic Games. And Victor Osimhen trains with the rest of the Super Eagles squad ahead of the African Cup of Nations qualifier against Benin Republic. Let's join our sport desk for details.
In a breathtaking display of strength and dominance, Nigeria's Onyechi Mark set multiple world records to win gold in the women's up to 61 kg powerlifting at the Paris 2024 Paralympics. Her journey began with an impressive 140 kg, a lift that would have been good enough to medal, taking an early lead and positioning herself strongly for the gold medal. For her second attempt, Mark chose a lift of 145 kg, which was 3 kg more than the existing Paralympic record. She made the lift with ease, setting a new Paralympic record and solidifying her position at the top. Mark, however, was not done. She returned to the stage for another lift, raising the bar to an extraordinary 147 kg, a lift that not only secured her the gold medal, but also broke her own world record. She would yet again 10 minutes later smash her own world record by lifting a phenomenal 150 kg. Mark's incredible performance meant that she has now set the last 3 world records in the women's up to 61 kg powerlifting category. Victor Osimhen breezed into the Super Eagles 4 points by Sheraton Hotel base on Thursday. Caretaker coach Augustin Eguafon now has the full complement of all 23 invited players in camp. The 25-year-old took part in the team's evening training session. Osimhen's arrival in camp was delayed by his move to Galatasaray. The powerful striker sealed a loan move to Turkish Super League champions on Wednesday. The former Lille player is now in contention to start Nigeria's 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying tie against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic on Saturday.
And that's the news desk at 6 and Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.